Man did not evolve under the influence of blind, meaningless forces. Accidental physics and chemistry did not form man. Something to consider, is it any wonder that people live with a sense of lostness in such a vast world in which we live? If all we are told about our origin is that we derived from some cosmic accident billions of years ago?
From Living Word Church, you're listening to the Living the Word podcast, encouraging you to walk steadfastly in your Christian faith.
Identity matters. Our identity matters. Where do we get our identity from? It could be said that this question is perhaps the greatest question that anyone can seek to answer. In our world today, the answer to that question can be found in many places. There are no shortage of people and ideologies that are ready and willing to tell you who you are, why you are here, and what you should live for. As we are studying through the book of Genesis on Sunday mornings at Living Word Church, we are learning that our identity cannot be truly understood apart from our Creator. Genesis 1:26 tells us, "Then God said, 'Let us make man in our image and after our likeness, and let them have dominion over the fish of the sea and over the birds of the heavens and over the livestock and over all the earth and over every creeping thing that creeps on the earth.'" God created man in his image. At the pinnacle of his creative work, what did God do? He created man in his image, the imago Dei. God is declaring that the pinnacle of his creation, the capstone of his creation, is made uniquely different than anything else in all of creation. Made in the image and in the likeness of God. What does it mean that man is made in the image of God? I think to answer that question, we must first answer, what does it not mean that man is made in the image of God? It doesn't mean that we are gods. Man is not a god. He's not God. We are not little gods. The Word of Faith movement will pervert the doctrine of the image of God in man to attribute to man God-like qualities and abilities. While our confession is important, we do not possess the ability to create with our words like God did in Genesis. It also means that God is not a man or have a physical form like man. There are many false ideas of movements that try and bring God down to humanity's level or try to make gods out of many earthly things. Pantheism does this. So what does it mean that we're made in the image of God? Being made in the image of God means that we were created to reflect God in the earth, like a mirror reflects. There is a resemblance of God in man. You could say we are a chip off the old block. In essence, we are a chip off of God's block. It also means that we possess in limited form some of God's attributes. Now, there are some attributes of God that we do not possess. God is omnipotent. He is all-powerful. God is omniscient. That means he knows everything. He has all knowledge. God is omnipresent. He is everywhere at one time. And God is immutable, which means he does not change. We do not possess those qualities. Being made in the image of God does not mean we have those God-like qualities. But there are some attributes that God has that man does possess. For example, grace, mercy, goodness, love, faithfulness, truthfulness, rational thought, relationality. God is a relational being, and we are relational beings. And this is a reflection of God in the earth. All of these realities about man and woman made in the image of God tell us one primary thing, that mankind is created on purpose and for a purpose. Because impersonal and random forces cannot create personal and purposeful beings. Man did not evolve under the influence of blind, meaningless forces. Accidental physics and chemistry did not form man. Something to consider, is it any wonder that people live with a sense of lostness in such a vast world in which we live? If all we are told about our origin is that we derived from some cosmic accident billions of years ago? The truth is that man is too complex of a being to have been created by impersonal random forces. There is an identity crisis and an anxiety crisis in our culture, and I believe it can be directly traced to people not knowing and or rejecting the reality of God as their creator. Psalms 139 tells us that we were formed in our mother's womb, that God formed our inward parts, that he knitted us together in our mother's womb, that we were fearfully and wonderfully made. And with that knowledge of our creator comes human dignity, value, and purpose. We are not just who Ancestry.com says we are. We are also not the result of random molecules colliding billions of years ago. Who we are, our identity, our uniqueness as male or female, and our purpose comes from the God who made us. So here's the point. We were created for so much more than finding our identity in earthly things. We were never designed to find our identity by looking to earthly things or by looking inside of ourselves, by looking down into ourselves. Why is that? Because we will lie to ourselves. And we will deceive ourselves. Only the creator of something can truly know the identity and purpose of what was created. We are not designed to find our purpose by looking to ourselves. We were created by God to find our identity and our purpose by looking up to him. Some have questioned whether or not the image of God remains in man after the fall. Well, the short answer is yes, it does. And the proof is that you're listening to me right now and you're contemplating, you're thinking. And the proof is that I'm sitting here thinking and communicating. However, the image of God in mankind is certainly stained or broken because of the curse of sin. And we should grieve over that brokenness every day as we see and hear about image bearers of God who subject themselves to beliefs and practices and lifestyles that do not reflect the value and purpose they were designed for. The brokenness that sin has caused, the identity crisis we see when image bearers of God have been deceived to believe they can find true identity apart from their creator, should cause us to grieve. But here's the good news. The good news is that all of this has been remedied. Galatians 3 tells us Christ has redeemed us from the curse of the law by becoming a curse for us. For it is written, cursed is everyone who is hanged on a tree. The curse of sin and the damaging effects it has on our world and on image bearers of God has been broken by the curse destroyer, who is Jesus. And all of those who place their faith in him can be free and can be renewed in his image day by day.
Thank you so much for listening to this episode. If you would like to submit a potential question, a topic, or an idea for a future episode, or learn more about the Living the Word podcast, you can visit us at livingwordhoma.com. We would like to say thanks to all of you who subscribed, shared episodes, and left reviews. Living the Word podcast is a production of Living Word Church in Houma, Louisiana, under the leadership of Pastor Ben Buffkin. Our prayer is that you will remain faithful to living the Word.